So today we are watching the worst TikTok trends for your mental health by Visual Venture. This is an older video. It did come out 4 months ago. But yeah, let's get into it.
This is not normal, right? This person probably has a lot of problems, and I can't believe that people are making this a trend.
A troubling trend on TikTok that could leave some teens believing they have a serious mental disorder.
Just by looking at some of the recent TikTok trends, and you'll see just how
Like, okay, a trend for being dirty. That just, and not cleaning up, that's just like people trying to cope because they want to be dirty, I guess. Which, yeah, that could cause a lot of problems because if there's like rotting food, that'd be nuts. Also, kids thinking they have disorders when they don't. That also
toxic this app
bad.
can really be.
Bad.
Yes, TikTok trends. Some can be pretty funny, others can be straight up dangerous. The worst ones are the trends that seem harmless but are quietly messing with your mental health. We'll break down specific trends, starting with strange ones, and work our way to the ones doing the most damage. Alright guys, so it is almost the end of the year, and my goal is still the same. Increase the number of videos we put out without sacrificing quality. And it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I will do my very best to make this goal a reality for you guys. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome.
WW.
The homeless man photo. The AI homeless man prank went viral in mid-2025. I mean, when I saw this myself, I thought it was pretty funny, but we can't ignore that it caused
Yeah, I've seen a vid. I think I only saw one, but I think I did see a vid about this. It was like a girl pranking their parents, which is kind of just like, why? You know, like it's obviously for the reaction, but it's like, in my opinion, it's just not. It wouldn't be worth it. And I feel like if I was a parent, or if I did this to my parents, I'd kind of feel like a dickhead. But that's just me.
psychological damage for some. Here's how it worked. Teenagers took photos of their bedrooms or living rooms. Then they used AI to edit the images, making it look like a stranger was inside their home. But not just any stranger, a homeless man. The results looked disturbingly real. Once the edits were ready, the prankster sent the images to their parents.
And then sending it to a family member, leading them to think someone broke into their home.
What followed
Like, that's just, yo. They're just straight panic. Straight panic. I do like messing. Like, I would mess with my parents when I was younger, and I still do a little bit today, but not like this, dude. This is like your parents would be panicking.
photo was panic. Parents thought the photo was real. Some were scared, others were mad, and a lot of them called 911.
Here's one TikToker
What's
showing
there you go?
cops
Nat. That's also a problem, you know? So now police are getting involved.
leave their house after pranking their mom, saying the homeless man was asking for money.
That was the entire concept. Scare your parents with a fake AI intruder, film their reaction, and post it online.
The joke is supposed to be the reaction people have to the pictures.
TikTok loved it. Soon the hashtag homeless man prank reached 124 million views. Every new post tried to push the limits. They made the homeless intruder more threatening and more realistic. Soon it went beyond parents. TikTokers pranked their spouses.
Okay, what I'm gonna say also, this is my also take. Or another, basically, if you did this to an old person, you're completely fucked up. If they're over the age of 60, you're gonna kill them. Like, yeah. Or you could have.
Their roommates. And as usual, they filmed the reactions.
Why would you let somebody into the house? Even if somebody come to the house and say, oh, they are my friend or something, you attend to them outside the house.
Some even created elaborate backstories about why they let the homeless man in. They were just trying to get a more interesting reaction.
Who is at the house?
I felt really bad because this guy.
Natalie Reynolds did this. I guess I'm not surprised because she like does every trend, but I don't really like Natalie Reynolds, not gonna lie.
I knocked on the door and he looked like he was in need of help, really wanted water, so I let him come in for a little bit.
But as the video
Who's
spread,
even
experts
pranking? I don't know, probably fake anyways.
began warning about an invisible danger. This trend didn't just scare people for a few seconds. It obviously caused a serious mental distress. I mean, just imagine yourself in the situation. When someone believes an intruder has entered their home, they panic. Some people experienced full-blown panic attacks before realizing the image wasn't real. But for the sake of YouTube, we can't show those extreme reactions, but they are on TikTok. For older adults, like most parents in these videos, extreme stress can trigger heart problems. But the harshest warning came from law enforcement. Police called the prank stupid and potentially dangerous.
Let's just say you do respond and you have a weapon. Somebody can get serious, your own personal family member.
I do feel like multiple people. I don't know. I was gonna say a decent amount, but I'm really hoping not. So I'm gonna say, I'm assuming though multiple people did this prank to their grandma, which is
seriously injured.
Even with all the warnings,
Wow.
the trend didn't stop, so the police took action. In October 2025, Ohio police arrested 2 teenagers for faking home invasions with the AI homeless photo. In both
okay. Were they trying to prank their parents or were they trying to prank the cops? Like I don't know. How would you arrest someone if they were pranking false report? I guess
both cases,
causing a
police
false
were called
report.
to the home only to realize
You
it
would
was a joke.
you probably would go there for a day and then get out.
The sheriff's office made it clear.
Maybe.
This behavior is not a prank, it's a crime. And AI seems to be trying to stop this homeless man prank too. When NBC reporters asked
I could agree with that, it being a crime technically, because of like what that prank causes.
ChatGPT to generate an image of a homeless man in my home, it refused to. ChatGPT replied, I can't create or edit an image like that. It would involve depicting a real or implied person in a situation of homelessness. If AI tools keep blocking these kinds of requests,
Super good. Yeah, they should have more, way more, I would say, restrictions on stuff, because people do crazy things with AI, like absolute crazy things, and then they post it and it's like, bro, like for instance, there's a lot of AI of Jeffrey Epstein and just like fucked up things, you know. But yeah.
this trend might disappear soon, but the psychological harm it causes to homeowners won't disappear so easily. This next trend turned no sleeping into something people
Like I also another video, AI vid that popped up on my For You page one time was just AI. It was AI. It was a girl tied up with slut written on her chest. Like, it was absolutely crazy, the AI video that was on my For You page. This was probably like a month ago, but it was absolutely like, this shouldn't be on TikTok. Like that, it was absolutely crazy. And it was all AI, and it was just messed up.
aspire to do.
Like,
The toxic productivity trend.
I
Toxic productivity
couldn't
is
believe that someone, well, I guess because there are fucked up people in this world, there's a decent amount, but it's just crazy that someone posted on TikTok.
is the idea that you must be productive at all times. It's about not letting a minute of your day be wasted. And TikTok is full of videos pushing that message. Okay, so let me be clear. I am all for productivity. I believe that in order to achieve something great, you gotta work really hard and really smart. Being productive is a great thing, but toxic productivity is something else. People push themselves to unhealthy extremes in order to accomplish more, often at the expense of their health. And you do not want to sacrifice health. But TikTok's algorithm kept feeding the productivity obsession. Soon people were being shown endless videos with extreme productivity hacks.
The GT XL settles it. Bigger is better. We took GT S Series Rally Edition and
TikTokers giving productivity advice probably mean well. The problem starts when viewers take those routines and push them too far. The perfect example is the sleep is for the weak mindset.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, that's the stupidest thing. I do hear, actually, yeah, that's like a huge, I've seen that. Like, I've seen a bunch of those videos. That is just so stupid. To make yourself not really sleep. There was also a guy talking about, okay, I'll talk about one of these videos. Okay, there's this guy. He's talking about you shouldn't sleep, right? If you're broke and you're trying to make money, don't sleep, work all the time, and don't spend that much money on food. People were listening to this. This guy is successful. I don't know what he does. He might probably just sells courses, but like, he makes money and he's telling people this, and people are actually buying into, like, oh, I shouldn't sleep that much. I shouldn't spend that much money on food, and shouldn't eat as much. You're killing yourself. You're like, how could you think that your productivity, right? Say you might get maybe some things more done because you have more hours in the day, but you're not efficient. That's my thing. But even if you were, still bad. Still bad. That is horrible to not get enough sleep for your body. Like, say I'm barely gonna sleep for this long, okay? And because of this, I might be rich in the future. Okay. You just lost, I'm pretty sure, years of your life from being sleep deprived. I'm just saying, like,
videos show people staying up all night to work, bragging about not needing rest. Losing sleep becomes a badge of honor. And it gets worse. There's a trend called 5 to 9 before your 9 to 5. You'll see people trying to finish a full list of tasks before at 9 a.m. By the time their actual job begins at 9, they're already exhausted. Last but not least, the that girl trend. The hashtag amassed over 1.6 billion views.
Feels like also that trend, why it got so big is it feeds into insecure people that feel like, or seeing people do things, so then if they work so much that day, or more than this person or more than that person, it makes them feel better because they're insecure about themselves. They need more like feeding their ego, you know? Like, I'm assuming that's why it got so big, because if you don't sleep and you work all the time, now you're saying, oh, I'm a badass, I can do this, I'm better than that person, I'm better than this person. But you're not. You're just caring what other people think, at the expense of hurting your health.
The trend encouraged women to become hyper-productive girl bosses.
Working hard at stuff is awesome. Just just don't get, I would say, too involved at the a sense of hurting your health, because I feel like that would just make things more worse. But that's also my opinion, and we all have our opinions.
I mean, it sounds respectable, but there is one major problem. Most people can't sustain that kind of schedule without burning out. Eventually, creators started speaking out. They made videos and blogs rejecting toxic productivity. One writer put it this way: when you push yourself too hard for too long, it's easy to start measuring your self-worth by how much you can get done. You start to feel...
There we go. That's what I was talking about. They're measuring their self-worth on how much things they get done, which that has nothing to do with self-worth. Some people actually do think that, though. They're like, if you don't have a Lambo, like, some people will actually say that if you don't have a Lambo or a nice car, you're nothing, which no. You see this all the time, or I do, a decent amount, like on TikTok and stuff like that. And it's just crazy to think that people can only see their self-worth if they have money. And it's just a piece of paper. Yes, that piece of paper can save lives and help people, but it gets to a point where society is being more and more insecure and being hard on themselves and wanting materialistic possessions to be cool. Like, that's all, to impress other people. That's why a lot of people want materialistic things, to impress other people, which is just bad, I would say, because if you look at greed hurts so much. It does. Because you look at, why are there so many criminals? Because of greed. Why are there people dying, so much people dying from cartels? Greed. Why are there just so much bad people doing bad things? A lot of it is for money, and like, it gets to a point.
Guilty for wasting time on activity.
Like, it's greed. Some people say it's good because you're working so hard and you want it so bad that you will succeed and make a lot of money in your life. But then money also causes so much bad, and greed causes so much hurting, so much on people, because it causes a lot of death.
You used to enjoy. And I'm guilty of this too. Spending time with friends feels like falling behind. Even sleeping starts to feel like a waste of time. And the result? Burnout. Burnout isn't just feeling tired, it's a complete...
Yeah, it does. You just gotta be less, like, insecure. Be okay with taking breaks and stuff like that for a little bit. And when you do take breaks for yourself, not feeling insecure, about taking breaks for yourself. It's just kind of just finding yourself, and just being yourself, knowing what you want, knowing your limits, and stuff like that.
Physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. Many who tried the that girl lifestyle reported feeling exhausted, unhappy, and overwhelmed with guilt.
Overwhelmed with guilt and unhappy. So it's kind of like a loop. This is an ad. It's kind of like a loop. You're sad, or no, Well, yeah, you're sad. Then in order to feel happy, you work. And then all of a sudden a week goes by or two, and now you're even sadder because your body is exhausted and you don't feel like doing anything. Don't feel like doing your hobbies. Don't feel like doing the things that make you happy in life. Because all you did was work on things that weren't making you happy. Well, I guess finishing those things, yes, making you happy. But then because you work so hard, it didn't make you happy.
Join the conversation calling for change.
Issue is more around this kind of societal acceptance we have of prioritizing productivity, prioritizing self-care in a way that's actually kind of destructive.
To make things worse, many of these perfect productivity videos aren't even real. They're staged to look impressive.
People who post these very aspirational versions of themselves online and then expect us to believe that that's who they are.
Again, I believe that hard and smart work is the key to success, but real productivity requires balance. You work hard, then you rest. You give your best, then you recover. And fun fact, the best ideas come when you're not working. This next trend made exploding with anger.
Yeah, I'd actually sometimes, yeah, I would agree with that sometimes. True.
Normal.
Not all the time though, but like, yeah.
Now, for a long time, crash out meant going to sleep very quickly because you were exhausted. But in early 2024, TikTok gave it an entirely different meaning.
Crashing out is when you lose all self-control with no care in the world about any of the consequences to follow.
For those of you who don't know, simply put, it means becoming suddenly uncontrollably angry or distressed.
Okay, yeah.
On TikTok, this wasn't just slang. It was a trend that made young people think violent outbursts were okay. In 2024, videos with the hashtag crashing out.
I was wondering where this was gonna go. Yeah, it's not okay, but I would say getting mad and yelling sometimes is okay.
Spread across TikTok. They encouraged reckless behavior. The message.
But if you're like actively hurting people and stuff, then no.
Was simple. Stop holding it together, lose control. This trend took off. Soon TikTok was filled with videos of people screaming, having emotional outbursts, or acting erratic. People recorded themselves breaking down over work, school, or relationships. They were crashing out for views. Within months, the hashtag crossed 1 billion views.
Yeah,
this trend.
But also maybe they were letting it out. You know, like they're just alone screaming or whatever. Maybe it could help. I would say, like when I'm mad or whatever, and I do like let it out, it does help instead of holding it in. But am I hurting people? No. Or I'm also not like crashing out like in public. I have though. I have. I'm not gonna say like it wasn't like a crazy crash out, but like I've gotten mad and stuff, you know.
Was horrible for mental health, teaching people that it's okay to act like this. Therapists said the trend made people absorb the idea that emotional crashing is a valid coping strategy.
Yeah, it just depends on like how you're crashing out. Like when I'm playing a game, I yell. Okay. But then the difference is you're playing a game, you freak out so much, you start breaking things, then somebody comes in, tells you to stop, and then if that person's like a crazy person, then they will crash out at the other person. Like it could go bad, you know, but it's not like, depends on how you're crashing out. That's what I would say. It's bad on how you do crash out.
strategy. In other words, it rewired how people handled stress. Instead of learning self-control, people were performing their meltdowns for an audience. Despite the warnings, the trend only got more popular. The more dramatic the meltdown, the more engagement it got. The crashing out trend even had its own anthem. It was a viral sound called Let It Burn. The lyrics told listeners to burn it all to the ground. And that's exactly what many did. Crashing out videos showed people making impulsive and destructive decisions. They quit their jobs without notice, ended friendships, and lashed out at family. Each crash out brought only a temporary wave of relief, attention.
Yeah, and then caused more harm. Like, if you're lashing out at, like, just family members because of something stupid, like, that's just gonna cause more problems.
Validation.
And most... Okay, I'm also gonna say this. I'm talking a lot in this vid. But... who cares? I don't. Maybe you guys do. But, what I was gonna say is, thinking from anger or doing things from the, like, you're angry from, like, an angry state, doing things from, like, an angry state or thinking from an angry state, most of the time causes problems. Anger causes more problems. You're angry because of one problem, right? So then that one problem causes you to be angry, and then what you do with that anger can cause a lot of more problems.
Also left behind
and that's
real
like the
consequences. Broken relationships, lost opportunities, and lasting regret. It's normal to feel frustrated, but crashing out is not the solution. When you're faced with a problem, use your brain, not your heart. Up next is a trend that left thousands.
In some situations, but in other situations, you should also use your heart. You know.
How you feel without notice, and also left behind. When you're faced with a problem, use your brain, not your heart. Up next is a
yeah, but he's also saying, okay, I just wanted to make that problems, use your brain.
Trend that left thousands of people living in constant fear.
And slash kind of heart, because it should also, like, when you, I don't know. I'm just gonna...
The Kia Challenge. The Kia Challenge started with a video of someone breaking the law. On July 2022, a TikToker filmed themselves hot wiring a car. The trick only worked for Kia and Hyundai models, but it was shockingly simple. Filming a crime was reckless enough, but what came next?
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't know a ton of people were filming themselves breaking in a car and stealing a Kia. Like, what are you doing?
People were inspired to do the same. A group of young boys saw the clip and decided to try it. They filmed themselves hot wiring cars and driving off. They even gave themselves a nickname.
They're called the TikTok Kia Boys. Teens like these four stealing cars and using them to commit violent crime.
Soon, other young people joined in. TikTok was flooded with stolen car videos.
They're saying it is called the Kia Challenge.
That's just actually terrible, because you're just causing so much problem, or so much problems, so much problems in another person's life that owns that car. Like, people got plans, you know?
It's targeting cars, leading to more thefts.
The hashtag got millions of views. But the damage wasn't just the stolen cars. It was what it did to people's minds. Kia and Hyundai owners were living with constant anxiety. Every morning began with the same question.
Oh my gosh, yes, dude. Wow. Like, wow.
The car be next. People check their driveway.
Psychological, okay, I'm just gonna
ways multiple times a day. Some had trouble sleeping at night. Others said they couldn't focus at work because they kept...
But what I was just wanting to say, like, I didn't think about that. Like, that is tough, like, the stress on people that own their cars, because it's a trend for your car to get broken into. Like, just think about that. Like, this fucking
thinking
insane.
about their car. Psychologists have a name for this: hypervigilance. It's when the brain stays on high alert, scanning for danger that might not even exist, and it's mentally draining. That kind of fear changes people. They change their routines, avoid certain places, they stop.
And lack of sleep probably too will keep some people up longer, so then they have less sleep, which then it causes more problems.
Feeling safe even at home. But the mental stress was worse for those whose cars were actually stolen. Researchers studied the psychological impact of car theft.
Oh my gosh, because then they're gonna think that it's gonna like happen again. Oh my gosh, dude, this is fucked up. This is just so fucked up. I can't believe the people that, wow. Like, the people that are doing it have to have psychopathic tendencies. I couldn't imagine, like, someone not being a little psychotic that's doing this trend. Like, this is absolutely crazy. You have to be a little psychotic.
One woman whose car was stolen said, "I have PTSD now. I wake up in the middle of the night, sometimes crying with nervousness." The news coverage made things worse.
Wow.
Tens of thousands of Kias and Hyundais were stolen. Some had their cars stolen twice in one day.
A woman in Highland Park found
twice in one day is wow. That's crazy. That's how popular, like, wow. See, like, if I got my car stolen, like, I'd obviously lock it and be like, yeah, I'm locking it every single time, but, like, 2 times in one day, wow,
out the hard way recently, just
That's
a few
just
days ago in
unlucky.
broad
Wow.
daylight. Her 2017 Hyundai was stolen where it was parked outside her second job.
Each new story reminded people that they could be next.
It's super frustrating, it sounds like. Now I have to be careful where I park and pay attention, and it's going to change where we'll probably take my wife's car.
Some considered even selling their cars because of the constant paranoia.
Yeah, I probably totally would. Like, I totally would. If I had a Kia and it was a trend on stealing Kias and Hyundais, I probably just might, just so it would take stress out of my life, you know?
Police began cracking down on the crimes.
Locally, Arlington police say they've made several arrests and stress auto theft in Texas is a felony, which many young people might not realize.
Under heavy pressure, TikTok finally
Might not realize, but you fucking stole a car for TikTok views. You're fucking insane.
They took down the videos showing how to hotwire cars, and most importantly,
So I'd
TikTok
say that's a good thing. Well, not that the teens don't know, but I'm saying that stealing a car is a felony.
banned the Kia challenge. Slowly, the trend died out, and for the first time in months, car owners could finally relax again. This trend didn't just steal cars, it stole peace of mind. It turned something as ordinary as owning a car into a source of anxiety. This next trend turned something completely natural into something terrifying. The aged filter. For the sake of your mental health, don't waste your time using the TikTok aged filter. This headline warned people to stay away from a viral TikTok filter, and they had a good reason. The filter was called Aged. It was released in 2023. The aged filter used AI to predict how users would look when they were old. It showed faces.
Oh my gosh, the people that wouldn't like how they looked when they were older. Wow, I saw this. I was on, like, I saw this a bunch of times, but I didn't think of that at the, like, I knew, like, oh, people probably will feel bad, but, like, the people that don't like what they look like when they're older, dude, people probably did, like, some crazy shit because they think they're actually gonna look like that when they're older. Bro, it's a filter. You don't know what you're gonna look like when you're older. Like, what are you talking? Like, bro.
Covered with wrinkles and saggy skin. At first, only a few users tried it. Then celebrities joined in and it got really popular.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Soon everyone.
Well, what do you like? Maybe you might like, maybe some people like old people, but I'm just saying, like, nobody likes their older self. So, like, are you expecting, like, what are people expecting? To be like, I love it. I love it. It's gonna be me when I'm older. Which, that's what I would. Like, if I would do that, I think I did actually do that filter. Did I believe I was gonna look like that? I don't even remember what I looked like. What it told me. But, probably because I didn't care, because I honestly didn't believe, that's how I was gonna look like. But, like, people probably did some crazy stuff. Because they actually thought, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna look like this when I'm older. I gotta start smashing my bones.
Wanted to see their future face. The hashtag aged filter crossed 1.2 billion views. People laughed at the results.
Dude,
some
huge.
resembled their parents or grandparents. It was all fun until
but nobody likes their older self. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Like, if you're thinking, I'm gonna look good when I'm older, from your perspective, probably not. Like, you're old, you're wrinkly, you're saggy. Like, when it
tone shifted. The trend surprisingly made young people terrified of aging. TikTokers began panicking after using the age filter. One woman stared at her aged face in disbelief.
Really? This is how I'm going to look like?
The reaction wasn't unusual.
Bro. No. Really. That won't. Like, it won't. Like, you're probably not gonna look exactly like that when you're older. You could maybe look similar, though.
It was becoming the norm. One viral clip showed a 14-year-old
But
kid.
I'm pretty sure that the age filter's wrong. That's my thing. I think it's not going to be right.
Explaining what they are doing to stay looking young. Another wrote, I'm 18, but I feel like I'm past my prime. I only have so many years left before I start decaying and become ugly and sad. TikTokers started making plans to stop themselves from looking old. Posts appeared everywhere. Getting Botox on Tuesday for the first time. Bought $200 worth of skincare products after. Doctors warned people not to take the filter too seriously.
Just seeing the filter alone should be an immediate button for you to then call your local provider and just immediately go and get Botox.
But their warnings couldn't slow the panic.
It just caused people to just get, like, isn't Botox technically a surgery? I don't know, but I'm just gonna say it caused people to get surgery. Like, that's a level of insecurity. Like, that's just crazy.
Millions already believed that aging was something to prevent, not accept. Even worse, that fear spread.
People just don't accept, like, just life, like, aging. Dude, what? Like, society just can't accept, like, things that just happen in life.
To children. Kids who hadn't finished growing up were now terrified.
Which, you shouldn't accept everything that happens in life. What the fuck am I talking about? But, like, regular things about appearance that happens if you're a normal person, and people just can't accept it. Like, they're like, oh, I gotta try so hard so that's not me.
Of growing old. Like, this next trend made people
comfortable. If I'm wrinkly and
living
saggy when I'm older, okay. Whatever. I'm gonna pass away. I'm gonna die. Okay? Like, I guarantee I won't care how I look when I'm older. Even kind of now. Like, I still care, like, I want to look good or whatever, but, like, do I actually really care? Sometimes. But most of the time, I would say not really. Because, caring what people think just causes so much stress on people. Like, for instance, look at the video that we're watching. So I try to not care what people think.
Filth. Bed rotting. The bed rotting trend started in 2023. It was a simple concept. It meant spending much or even all of your day in bed by choice. People could scroll on their phones, listen to music, and eat junk food. The goal was to relax completely. No plans, no pressure, no productivity.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I couldn't do that. Like, doing nothing. I also have ADHD, so that's probably why.
I could rot in bed all day. Like, there's nothing that is gonna get me out of bed.
For those who were stressed out, bed rotting seemed like the perfect escape. Videos showed cozy bedrooms, soft blankets.
Yeah, I could say, like, maybe it made people feel better or whatever, and if it did, then maybe do that, like, a couple times a year. You know?
Within reach. The hashtag bed rotting racked up an insane 900 million.
But if you do that all the time, it's just gonna cause you problems, like physical problems, movement. Your joints will be bad. Your body would just probably be aching. You're not moving.
Views. It looked harmless, even comforting. But the longer it went on, the darker it got. People weren't just resting for a day or two, they were shutting down for weeks at a time. Bed rotting slowly turned into extreme laziness. It became an excuse to stay in bed for unreasonably long periods of time. The first sign of trouble was the filth.
This is not normal, right? This person probably has a lot of problems, and I can't.
When people say bed rotting is a trend, but this is how it can look. Yeah, dude, that's bad. Holy.
Believe that people are making this a trend.
People were living in rooms that were flooded with trash. Photos showed.
Is that mainly just trash?
The first sign of trouble was in rooms that were flooded.
Has a lot of problems, and I can't believe that people are making this a trend.
People were living in rooms that were flooded.
Trash, but no, see, it's just regular, like, there's like a, I don't know what that is. That looks like a lunchbox or a backpack.
With trash.
Are those toys?
Photos showed
that might be all
rotting
that
food, dirty clothes, and moldy
trash.
Dishes.
Oh.
They have cups laying around their room just filled with mold because they're just bed rotting.
Some slept on mattresses covered in junk. This trend convinced people that neglecting themselves was somehow healing. But the clutter and dirt weren't the only dangers. The real harm came from the physical and mental.
Yeah, but how do people feel like that would be good? Not moving. Or not doing anything. Like, if I did that, my mental health would deteriorate. Right. I fucked up that word. But it would deteriorate. So badly. So badly.
Mental damage caused by lying in bed for days. Bed rotters developed medical conditions usually seen in the elderly or bedridden. One TikToker shared her story.
So I think I'm bed rotting a little too hard. I think I got bed sores on my hips.
Bed sores form when pressure cuts off blood flow to the skin. They're common in people who can't move or turn themselves, not in healthy young adults. And that was only the physical side. The emotional effects were worse. People believed that bed rotting was supposed to relieve stress and improve mental health. But the opposite happened.
Yeah.
Sleep doctors.
Like, it would. That would destroy my mental health. Absolutely.
Warned that bed rotting disrupted normal sleep cycles, and that led to chronic fatigue and insomnia.
But I also do have ADHD. So, like, I don't think obviously it would be way harder for me to do that.
And I don't think it takes a doctor to know that laying in bed all day makes you feel terrible. Companies even began sponsoring bed rotting content. They turned it into a competition.
I am privileged to be the host of the second Bed Rot Challenge by Cozy Earth.
$25K?
And sponsoring bed rotting content. They turned it into a competition.
I am privileged to
What? That's just stupid. I don't like this guy.
To be the host of the second bed rot challenge by.
Or is he AI? When was this trend? I don't know. I'll just.
Content. They turned it into a competition.
And I am privileged to be the host of the second bed rot challenge by Cozy Earth.
That company
I don't know.
offered
It was that guy AI. He might have been.
$5,000 to whoever could stay in
Kinda
bed
sounded
long.
like it, but like I don't know, was like
By 2024,
The audio
researchers
sounds
discovered
off.
that nearly a quarter of Gen Z admitted to practicing bed rotting. Sadly, the trend is still active.
4%, which I would assume obviously it's still pretty active because I said obviously, but like I guess it's not that obvious, but I could totally see that people are still doing this. Like it's some people like to be lazy, and then there's like that other trend where you're working yourself to death because like insecurities, and also bedrotting could also play in the insecurities because people that might be bedrotting feel like they want to do nothing or try at something because they will fail.
Today. Everyone needs rest, but bed rotting isn't recovery. It's ruining your mental health. This next trend was supposed to heal people. It
Deteriorate,
broke
dude.
them.
Like, it would be so bad. I'm just thinking, like, if I did that, dude. Oh my. I would go crazy. I would go insane.
I grieve different. In 2024, TikTok turned trauma
Is it not crying? What do you...
into entertainment. It was part of a trend called I Grieve Different. Here's how it worked. Users would start their videos by saying something positive about their lives. Then when
That a trend also... Was that also from, like, Charlie Kirk's fiance? Or, yeah, I think it was... She was... I don't know if they were married yet. Or wife. I think it was his wife. I think they were married. But, I did see a lot of videos of like I grieve different, and then it's Charlie Kirk's wife.
music switched, they would reveal something tragic or disturbing. For instance, a girl said she met someone she was really interested in. That was the good news. Then the music switched, and she listed all her mental issues that could ruin the relationship. The trend took off. Soon, TikTokers were confessing family secrets. Others shared deep
Families, dude. Like, I don't know. To share, like I could say like sharing stuff that happened to you and stuff like that. That's not a bad thing, but like you also gotta look. People don't realize that when you post on social media, people are judging you. Like some people will say nice things, but a lot of people will judge you and say horrible things. And some people like expect them to like post a video and it's supposed to be like, and people just share love. And that doesn't happen, and they share personal things, they get clowned, and then now their mental health is horrible.
Personal stories about illness and loss. Clip after clip followed the same formula. Good news first, horrible news second. It was a pain for views system. The more tragic the confession, the more engagement it got. The I Grieve Different hashtag reached 130 million views. Soon, psychologists saw the trend, and they were horrified. The biggest reason was that people were monetizing the dark parts of their private lives. TikTokers were using this trend to humble brag about tragedy, and they were getting paid for it. By July 2025, the media was sounding the alarm. They urged
What? Okay, that's just hate. That's just hating men right there.
Tragedy,
What
and
did
they were
that
getting paid for it. By July
say?
2025,
Now my dog's barking. Having a boy best friend.
the media was
He's a man.
sounding the alarm. They urged parents to stop their kids from joining the trend. This was not a healthy way to get through grief.
Okay.
The I grieve different trend taught people that they can get views for talking about personal issues. That's not
Which, yeah, I would have the take though, because I just thought about like, yeah, a lot of men can't be in like friends with girls. I would say a lot. But I do know some men can. I will say that.
inappropriate. It's
Like,
dark.
if there's no attraction involved, totally can be friends.
Almost everyone heard about this next trend when it appeared, but they didn't realize how dangerous it was. The bold glamour trend. In 2020,
Oh, I remember this one.
TikTok released a filter that made a lot of people really stressed. It was called
It made
the
them
Bold
better
Glamour
looking,
filter.
yeah.
The filter used AI to completely remold your face so that you can look like you've gotten a cosmetic makeover and plastic surgery.
I want to see what the bold
And so
glamour
much people use it today. Also. And it's like, dude. You can do what you want, whatever. It's also like having like people putting on makeup, like they're making themselves look better than what they would look naturally. But now they're using makeup and then they use bold glamour. Like, so now they're trying to look like a person that they could not be. That has to be devastating for your mental health, and also for insecurities. And TikTok already has a filter when you post videos. TikTok already has a filter when you post TikTok videos. Then I said it twice. I know, kind of idiot, but when you're on your camera roll, you don't have a filter. TikTok already tries to make you look better without doing anything. I could say no filter and I look way better if I would record on TikTok than if I record on anything else, which I do when I do post on TikTok. Most of the videos are from my camera roll. From me recording on my camera roll. So I don't really see that filter too much. But they already add one, and then people add another one, and then another one, and it just makes them more insecure, I'm assuming, as they use it, because they're trying to look like a person that they can't achieve to be without doing drastic measures. And even with drastic surgeries and stuff, you still probably won't look like that perfect person. And that's what a lot of celebrities struggle with.
filter looks like on me. A little nervous. Okay, honestly,
With one tap, users could
It
have
just looks
thinner
so
noses,
fake. Like, oh my gosh, dude.
stronger jawlines, and flawless skin. But that beauty came at a cost. When people turned the filter off, their real faces
That one looks more realistic.
looked wrong to them. When they looked in a mirror, they
Like,
only
that
saw
one looked
flaws.
more
Thanks to
realistic
TikTok,
with
millions
that-
began hating their own faces. The filter went viral fast. It was used about 400 million times within months. At first, TikTokers tried it out for fun.
This filter is actually insane. I mean, how do they do this?
But after seeing their bold glamour face, many wanted to look that way for real. Some tried to recreate the look using heavy makeup.
I just did my makeup to try and match that crazy filter. This is literally the best I've ever done my makeup.
But even the best makeup was no match.
Let's just see what it looks like when I put the filter
They're
back on.
actually trying to look like that. I that's kind of where I was going with it. Like, they wanting to be like that, and that's why there's still a decent amount of TikTokers that still use that. They actually want to be the person that the person that it looks like when they're using the filter. I had
Yeah. No
think
way.
about it
Bold
for a
glamour
little bit.
filter set an
To
impossible
word it
standard.
right.
It reprogrammed people's minds, making normal faces feel inadequate to the point that they considered an extreme solution: plastic surgery. TikTokers film themselves
I
considering
mentioned that,
plastic
like,
surgery.
I'm normally
probably,
against
dude.
filters,
Wow, that's
but
crazy.
I'm showing this to a surgeon. Like,
Others map
And it's like you're like she said it like it was like what she should do. Like no second thoughts. I want to be like this filter. What this filter is making me look like, I want to be exactly like that. Instead of just being yourself. And I know it's really hard for people because I do know looks do make people feel better, and looking like being a model. Amazing. You look good. And people just always want to look like that. And it just causes so much problems. It just does. And probably I would say also impacts the suicide rate a decent amount. I would say from appearance. Appearance matters so much to some people that they would rather just die. And it is absolutely fucking sad. It is so sad. But I don't feel like it's gonna change. I feel it's actually getting worse because now we have TikTokers like Clavicular caring so much about appearance. Like what he's gotten surgeries to make him look better. Like, and he has a big fan base of other insecure people doing things, working so hard trying to make themselves look better, which it might make you look better, but I guarantee once you achieve, oh, I look a little bit better, that's what my overall goal was, then you're going to want to look more better and more better. Like that's what not everybody, but you see that a lot with people. They can't stop because whatever they look like, they're like, "Oh, I can make it look better. I can make myself look better. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this." Where you just need to fucking stop and be one with yourself. Just like you can't change your appearance. I know you can. Like there's ways, but I'm talking about to a certain extent you can't, and you just gotta be okay with it. And it's really hard for people to be okay with it. And I get it. I have felt insecure about my looks back then. I also got like zits, which I know a lot of people are insecure about that. I sometimes am, but I'm all really kind of good with it. Being fine with having zits.
Without full cosmetic procedures.
How much filler would I need to look like the bold glamour filter?
Soon, plastic surgeons noticed a disturbing pattern.
How much what?
Would I need to look like the bold?
I'm showing this to a surgeon. Like,
others mapped out full cosmetic procedures.
How much filler would I need to look like the bold glamour filter?
Soon, plastic surgeons noticed a disturbing pattern.
Instead of patients bringing in photos of celebrities or models,
they're bringing in photos of an AI version of themselves. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, bro, I can't. That's not a real photo. It's not real.
bringing in photos of themselves filtered.
According to the study, nearly 60% of people considering cosmetic surgery admitted that filters influenced their decision. The Bold Glamour filter was setting super unrealistic expectations for users. As stories spread, some TikTokers turned against the filter.
Can we please ban the Bold Glamour filter? Because let's be real, no one looks like that.
For more than a year, TikTok ignored the backlash. The filter stayed live. Then they couldn't ignore it anymore. In October 2024, 14 US states sued TikTok over its beauty filters. The lawsuit revealed something alarming. TikTok allegedly knew Bold Glamour was harming people's mental health, but they left it up anyway. A month
for money.
Later, TikTok banned Bold Glamour for teenage users, but there was a huge loophole. 1 in 5 kids reported lying about their age online. That meant the filter was still within reach. In this next trend, one person even blamed themselves for their mother having cancer. Lucky girl syndrome. This trend began in 2023. A TikToker named Laura shared a mindset that she claimed changed her life.
I am so lucky. I just always expect great things to happen to me, and so they do.
Her theory was simple. If you believed good...
No, I take that as like, you're being like full of yourself. Like, that is not a good... You just expect good things to happen to you. It's not a good mentality. I just feel like it's kind of like I feel like a lot of assholes have that mentality.
Things will happen, they will. The secret was repeating affirmations like, I'm so lucky, things always work out for me. She encouraged her followers to try it out.
Try being delusional for a month and tell me if your life doesn't change.
By delusional, she meant believing good things were coming even without concrete proof. Her video was very popular. Many agreed with her in the comments. But it wasn't really a trend until 2 girls got involved. The girls claimed they followed Laura's advice, and it gave them exactly what they wanted. To be specific, the girls wanted the bottom...
Dry out my mouth. Hold on. I need to listen to this.
Followed Laura's advice, and it gave them exactly what they wanted. To be specific, the girls wanted the bottom bedrooms in their apartment. After using the affirmations, they got them. So the girls made a video with the caption, "How we changed our lives with the Lucky Girl Syndrome." Their video went viral. It was the perfect story, proof that positivity could bend reality. The Lucky Girl Syndrome hashtag skyrocketed to 4 billion views. Girls across TikTok were repeating Laura's phrases. I'm so lucky. Everything works out for me. More success stories flooded in. Dream jobs, free meals, surprise money. To some, it was motivational content, but to others, this trend was the worst. So positive thinking is obviously an amazing thing, but Lucky Girl Syndrome took it too far. In 2023, researchers analyzed the comments under Lucky Girl Syndrome videos. It was dark. They found people overwhelmed with guilt and self-blame. Someone wrote, "My mom has an untreatable cancer illness, and it made me completely lose my faith because I thought it was my fault for not being positive enough." Another said,
wow, that's a crazy take. Wow, that sucks.
Literally tried to wish away my ADHD for years. All it did was make...
Wait, who did that? Her?
Positive enough. Another said, literally tried to wish away my ADHD for years. All it did was make me hate myself more.
Yeah, if you have ADHD, I have ADHD. You have to accept that you have ADHD and figure out ways to help you in life with you having ADHD. That's just the best thing you can do. And figure out ways to help you. And people with ADHD are different, so some of my ways will help a decent amount of, like, because we do have like similar problems, but some ways that help ADHD people won't help other ADHD people, if you get what I'm saying.
People couldn't manifest their way out of problems. They didn't question the method. They blamed themselves for not believing hard enough. For every viral success story, there were hundreds of silent failures. People began comparing their lives to others who seemed effortlessly lucky. Even regular content creators spoke out.
And that's what I think is so toxic about.
So yeah, it's luck girl syndrome or lucky girl syndrome. Yeah, people get lucky. And that's what people don't understand. So then when that doesn't happen to them or something, then it just hurts their mental health so way more. Like you just can't expect things to happen. If you just expect things to happen, you're gonna go down, in my opinion, deep dark path, because those things aren't just gonna happen.
Lucky girl syndrome is that things like hard work, dedication, consistency, none of those things seem to be factors.
It's obviously...
And it's just luckiness. Wanting to be just having that lucky, perfect life, which is not obtainable. And also, even if you work hard, a lot of people work hard and still fail. Okay? Like, it depends on how you're working and what you're working on.
Every day. But positivity and
Or that one
delusion
product.
are two different things. This next trend encouraged people to starve themselves.
Oh
Girl dinner.
my
This is my
gosh.
meal. I call this girl dinner. Girl dinner. Girl dinner.
Girl dinner was more than a TikTok.
And oh my gosh, I accidentally I went to pause it and I hit like a letter on my keyboard and it popped up that. But so happy. You're happy to eat that much? Like, what are we doing?
Trend. It was so popular that Popeyes launched a special menu
Like being happy to not eat.
inspired by it. But behind the catchy name
And
was something
Popeyes got into it, bro.
dangerous. It all began when a TikToker shared
What is
a
that?
fun
What is
fact
that?
about
Let me
meat
see.
than a
I should-
TikTok
I should-
trend. It was so popular that Popeyes launched a special
Coleslaw,
menu.
beans, mashed potatoes, fries, and a biscuit. So just sides. A dinner of sides. No protein. No protein. No protein. Yeah. None.
You inspired by it, but behind the catchy name was something dangerous. It all began when a TikToker shared a fun fact about medieval peasants. She researched the peasants had nothing to eat but bread and cheese. They rarely cooked big meals. Inspired by that, she filmed her own meal.
This is my dinner. I call this girl dinner or medieval peasant.
Her idea was relatable. It was a quick, low-effort meal for people who didn't want to cook. Putting it together took just a few minutes and practically no energy. Her video went viral, and it started the girl dinner trend. Others posted their own girl dinners, mostly snacks, fruits, and leftovers. Soon, the girl dinner hashtag hit 7.1 billion
So
views.
just eating shit, like bread is bad for you. Bread is not good for you. The amount of sugar that's in bread. And then snacks. So it's just doing easy dinners to worsen your health.
The idea seemed innocent enough, until it started causing mental health issues. Over time, the idea behind girl dinner shifted. TikTokers began competing to see who could eat the least. Someone posted a few strawberries as her girl dinner. Others called ice cubes their dinner. One person...
Ice cubes? Okay, that's... Ice cubes? Really? That's your dinner?
claims
That's water. You're just eating water.
sleep was their girl dinner. They were real posts with thousands of likes. People in the comments praised them for being disciplined, but it wasn't discipline, it was unhealthy, and it led people to have serious eating issues. By 2024, headlines were calling it Gen Z's disturbing new trend. Despite the warnings, the hashtag hasn't
Like, that's
disappeared.
just so bad.
Social media has a way of making the extreme feel normal. Push yourself to burnout, that's dedication. Eat nothing, that's discipline. Blame yourself for cancer, that's manifestation. But somewhere along the way, we forgot to ask, is this okay? Visual Venture.
Yeah, dude. It's just trends work on for certain people. It'll feed on Most trends, though, I would say a lot of like big trends get big stemming from insecurities. That's what I'd say. That's how big trends or like trends that cause a lot of bad insecurities. But yeah, this was a W video. I'll like it. And yeah. Peace.